started playing guitar late in life, in college actually. My parents couldn't afford a band instrument when I was in grade school, and thus I caught the music bug in college when I saw a friend play live for the first time. That might surprise you since this is a synth channel after all, but guitar is my main instrument and I've been playing one in various bands for over 20 years.
That would be inconceivable.
Since this is my main instrument, you would think that I would have a ton of guitar-oriented VSTs, but I don't. The Osmos is probably the best synthesizer that I have that can emulate a guitar, and I've got some Falcon patches here and there, but no specific standalone VST to mimic this thing.
That's because it's actually pretty hard to mimic the slides, taps, strums, and bends on a real guitar. And most VSTs might do one of those things well, but the others, not so much. A few Osmos patches are probably the closest that you can get in the slide and bend department, and Nylon Sky from Omnisphere looks promising, but at $149, it's one of those things that it's easy to decide that other purchases are more important. So when Ujam offered to send me their latest cinematic guitar plugin to review, I absolutely said yes. Because 1, I love cinematic guitar. 2, this fills that large guitar-shaped hole in my VST library.
And 3, I've got a documentary that I've got to score, and this might just fit the bill. Cue standard disclaimer stuff below. The problem I ended up having is while trying to score some nature-inspired documentary music, I kind of got carried away and wrote a whole bunch of other stuff instead.
There is no need for you to fight. No need for you to fight.
Turns out that pairing Cinedream with a good drum machine and some vocal chops and a couple of other effects is really great for song creation. In fact, it only took me maybe 3 or 4 hours to churn out a bunch of songs. Unfortunately, they were in genres that don't fit my documentary very well. I need something a bit more ambient.
I guess this is a good problem to have though, and it's Ujam's fault because these series of plugins are pretty much made to write songs, and Cinedream is no exception. Cinedream is kind of like a player piano, except for guitar. You've got 2 octaves of different phrases to choose from, which are mainly different strum techniques, and they also include things like pick slides and muted sections. Then there are 30 styles to choose from. These are all different strumming and picking patterns set up for fast song creation. Finally, you can pick between playing chords or notes and even adjust the key. What makes this sound good, in my opinion, is the center section, because here you can adjust a couple of things like the width and focus, and more importantly, the variance, which is like a slight randomization button so that strumming and picking sound natural and not robotic. The contour and character let you change the length and the attack, and then go from something like bare fingers to a heavy pick. To sound even more like an actual guitar player, you can even set up some automation lanes to adjust the contour and character. just like a real guitar player might, or add slight random variations for realism. Finally, there are multiple amp simulations to choose, and my two favorite are Glow and Dust. The distortion is a bit hit or miss, and takes some trial and error at higher distortion levels to get a good sound, although using some of the other onboard saturation and distortion effects will get you there once you start playing around. I really do need to get some cinematic sounds out of this thing though, because I do have an actual job to complete. And one way to do that is by using the Stompbox and Finisher sections, because this is where you can get some EBO and other type sounds that ambient and cinematic guitar players use. By pushing contour, character, width, and focus to the limits, you can get something like this. The icing on the cake is adding different effects from the Ujam FX lineup. This can really get you deep into otherworldly territory when you start stacking things. And now that ambient vibe I was looking for is finally coming out. Here are a couple more examples. I'm pretty happy with the breadth of sounds that you can get from this, especially since some of the strumming and picking patterns are pretty realistic. Now, it's not going to replace a good guitar player, especially an experienced one, because of the range of dynamics and tones that you can get just by varying up where you strum and how hard you're pressing the fretboard and about a dozen other things. But for me, to set up mics and tune and set up pedals takes a lot of time and effort and cables, and this does all of that in about 1/10 the time. So I'm willing to forego those things, especially because I've got a deadline.
Cinedream kind of surprised me. Before I told Ujam yes, I was a bit on the fence as to whether or not I would accept the plugin. I'm not super fond of accepting a plugin and then not doing a video, and I wasn't sure that I was going to like this. It's hard to do guitars really well, but Cinedream is pretty darn good, and I think it's going to sit right beside my other plugins that I use on a regular basis. I think it's going to get used a lot.
That's it for today. Hit that like and subscribe and the bell. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the mountain.